How's it going, everyone, and welcome to the history of all the top 1 levels that have ever blessed Geometry Dash. I'm going to be going through the history of all the top 1 levels in the game, starting from demon levels, so starting from the first ever demon park, and going up to the current hardest Amethyst. Bald editing Eric here. I just want to clarify before we start the video that I'm going to be going through the top 1 levels as they were perceived at the time, and less so of what the top ones should have been at the time. So there's a lot of levels that were robbed of the top 1 place because there were hacked levels that were there, or there were levels that were perceived easier than they actually were. But if we went through all of that, it would take a very long time. So I'm just going to go through the list of top 1 levels as they were perceived at the time. But maybe we'll also go through this list of robbed top 1s and make a separate video about that, if you guys are interested. The reason why I'm doing this is I was streaming the other day and someone asked me a question about some timeline of a top 1 and I couldn't answer. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna educate myself and you guys are coming along for the ride. So on the 17th of October 2013, the first ever demon level was uploaded called Demon Park. So I've played and I've beaten this level. I've beaten it many times actually, because I think it's a pretty good level. It's a really good, easy demon. So this was the hardest level in the game, and it's a very early level. This was uploaded like 2 months after the game was released or something like that. And it was the hardest level at the time. So the reason why we have the demon rating system today is because of this level, because of Demon Park. Because this level was so hard and it was called Demon Park that RobTop decided we need another difficulty rating, and he decided to call it Demon Level. So the Demon Level was born because of this level. It's such a classic, it's so much fun, and I highly recommend this level. It's such a good old level. I really enjoy it, and I'm so shocked that it is so old because some old demon levels stink. Let's be real, they can be stinky, but this one has really fun gameplay. Honestly, you gotta show respect where respect is due. Demon Park by M2 Cole, great level. The next top 1 to come out was very shortly after, and it was called To the Grave by Darnik 2. So this level here, To the Grave by Darnik, is it has a bug right there that you can die to, and so you had to do this in 60 hertz. I think it's been fixed now that 2.2 has come out and fixed things, but for the longest time it had a bug, and so this level had a lot of dislikes. But back in the day, a lot of harder levels just had dislikes in general. People just didn't like them because they're like, oh, it's so hard. Why would you make this? It makes this game so much more frustrating before like people really saw competitive Geometry Dash as a thing, you know? So this level actually has a bunch of dislikes. I think it still does have some dislikes, but I thought it was an okay level, but it definitely had some frustrating moments. Like, it's not as good as Demon Park, but this was definitely the hardest level in the game when it got rated. So the next top 1 is Extreme Park by Rabatical. This is one of those like memorization pick a path levels where you just gotta remember the whole thing to get through. It's you know what, it actually ended up being quite fun, but it is quite frustrating to get through, and it takes a while to practice it because a lot of older levels, they have like a memorization element to them, because this was normal gameplay back in the day, having all these pick a pathways. But yeah, this level was like equally fun and frustrating at the same time. And it was a top 1 for 1 whole week. So the next hardest that released a couple weeks after the previous one, that's going to be just a trend. All these levels that are the hardest in like old GD were there for like a week or 2 before a new level dethroned it, you know? Because honestly, the levels weren't like that much of a difference difficulty wise, just like slightly harder. So yeah, Demon World by Super Hexagon is just a level that I don't know. I don't think it was that frustrating. It just had like a couple inputs that were much harder than other inputs. And mirror portals. Look at those mirror portals. Ew. Look at that. Oh my god. And the flying. I think this is the first level we've seen so far. Like, look at that. Going through those tight spikes right there. And that, like, okay, that's insane. I forgot about that. Yeah, no wonder this was the next hardest. Oh my god. Was that updated later to be like that? Like, was it always that hard? I actually don't know. That's crazy. So some of these levels that are on the list, like this one, BP Night, it says it was unrated due to having a secret way. And so this one was only a new hardest just for 1 week. Whenever that is the case, when a level was unrated later or hack verified, I'm not going to include it in this list because why would it be there? It was illegitimate, right? Even though it is good that it's included on this list for history's sake, I'm not going to include it in this video. Like these levels right here, the Hell Zone, the Hell World, they were all hack verified. And then later on, they were like recreated in 2.0 and verified by Stormfly. Even though these levels were on the Geometry Dash servers for a time, I mean, they were illegitimate to begin with, so they don't really count for the time, right? But I guess they were kind of a top one. So there were probably a lot of top ones that were missed just because like some of these other levels, like the original Stereo Demoness, so it was considered an impossible level until the original version actually got verified. And I remember this on the 28th of September 2021 when KPG Dylan verified the unnerfed version of it. It was a top one, but it didn't deserve its top one spot at the time, which a lot of the earlier levels are like that. So the early history of top ones is actually kind of skewed, because a lot of them were just hack verified. That is until we get to this level right here, Ice Carbon Diablo X. Honestly, I put a link to this list that I'm using in the description down below, so you guys can check it out yourself. Finally, at this time in the game, we have like people beating levels and recording their reactions, and the top Pointercrate demons list like starting to become a thing. Well, it didn't actually fully become a thing until partway into 1.9, but yeah, and it was a very early version of it. Ice Carbon Diablo X was deemed an impossible level, but it was still rated for a very long time, even though it was impossible. Until our boy Riot came along. Look at that classic intro. Riot. This video was uploaded on May 24th, 2015. So this is when Riot started taking the Geometry Dash world by storm and crushing demons and showing us that the impossible was truly possible, because this level was considered impossible until Riot came along and did this, which was insane. He's the first player to truly start pushing the boundaries and making a bunch of these like leaps in difficulty. I mean, there were other players that were doing so at the time, back in the day on like mobile and stuff, but Riot, he's the one that started taking the world by storm. I've beaten this level, ICDX. I think this level is, I think it's quite fun. Dude, I quite enjoyed playing this level. Actually, I mean, at the time I hated it, but I was also pretty bad at the game when I was playing it, and it was unenjoyable to me at the time. But like, I've gone back and practiced this, and I'm like, dude, I actually kind of like the gameplay. It's pretty fun. That straight fly is pretty stressful, actually. I would say the level's pretty unbalanced, because some parts are just like straight buffers, and some parts are like very difficult. But yeah, dude, this level's cool. It's a classic, and I think I dig it. Ooh, yeah, like that's such a final hard challenge. And then you gotta do another straight fly, which I died to, by the way, and threw my controller. I died to this part. So Riot beats ICDX.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Dude, so classic. And even though this was hack verified, it was still...
Oh my god. 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 Oh my god.
Oh, it's so beautiful. It was still rated, even though a lot of people knew this was hack verified. But Riot proved that even though it was hack verified, it was possible. And so he essentially was the verifier to prove that this was possible. And so this level remained rated after. ICDX was considered the hardest until Cataclysm came along. Even though Riot beat ICDX after Cataclysm was already on the servers. But then Riot went to beat Cataclysm after ICDX. So this is old Cataclysm. Now there's a distinction because the Cataclysm that we have now was updated by Riot and re-uploaded, and that is the one that's currently online. I mean, you can find old Cataclysm too, but in old Cataclysm, the wave that you just saw was nerfed, and this part is way different. So basically, Riot went and beat Cataclysm to prove that the level was possible. I think a week and a bit after ICDX. And people also thought that this was just an impossible hack level until Riot came along and beat it, which is really cool. It's a legendary part of Geometry Dash history, and this is like kind of when I was starting to get into the game. And so like following this was, you know, it was incredible to see how he was doing here. This is when I started realizing that Geometry Dash wasn't just a one-off game on my channel, because I was playing so many different kinds of games. And yeah, I started getting into the community more. So yeah, this is classic. Oh, that part is harder too. That chip up there in New Cataclysm, the one that Riot updated in 2.0. But yeah, like this was considered like a step up from ICDX, old Cataclysm. And yeah, this was big in the community. Look at that. Look at that pixelated face. He is in shock, man. Oh, dude, Old Cataclysm was rated. I wonder when it got unrated. I forget, but Old Cataclysm definitely got unrated. New Cataclysm got rated because it was verified legit. But I don't know the timeline of that myself. But anyways, what was once impossible, Riot showed it was possible. So look at that, 9,483 attempts, which you would think is quite a lot, but keep in mind, Riot was pushing the boundaries of the game at the time, and so it was quite the incredible achievement. And notice how it just says demon. There were no demon ratings at the time. There was no easy, medium, hard, insane, or extreme. That came in 2.1. Everything was just demon. Next few levels right here on the list, Future Demoness, Sonic Wave, and Fexty. These were all hack verified, and so they weren't really the top one, even though they were rated and would have been the most difficult demon in the game at the time, but they were all hack verified. So the hardest level in the game was Old Cataclysm until Riot went and one-upped himself with the mega collab creation of one of the most popular levels in the game, Bloodbath. So Bloodbath stood on the demon list for 1,997 days. And it was the former longest duration as top one as well. Other levels have since been top one longer than Bloodbath, but Bloodbath was a top one for over a year. I honestly love these super epic intros, and we still get them today. Like, people put them on their Extreme Demon completions. Honestly, it's great, dude. I love that part of the community. I've made a few myself for some of my achievements, you know? It's great. But Bloodbath truly was just something special, man. It was one of those levels that was so much harder than the level before it, the old, like, hardest, which was Cataclysm. It was so much harder. And we've had that happen with other top ones throughout the history of the game as well. Like, you know, when you see Tidal Wave, you're like, oh my god, you know, Amethyst, these kinds of levels, you're like, how is that possible? But this was like the earliest version of that, where people actually thought, you know what? Who's going to be able to do this? And Riot stepped up, and he was able to do this. There was a big mega collab that was put together with him set to verify. Dude, I love that classic Riot intro, by the way. And man, he worked his butt off getting this level out there. And I had caught a few of the streams, you know? He didn't beat it when I had watched him. I think I caught, like, the day before he beat it, I was on that stream, and then he beat it the next day. I was like, ah, and the same thing happened with Yada when Trusta verified it. So I was a little bit choked. But anyways, Bloodbath, man, I've beaten this level as well, and it's such a classic, dude. It's such a good level and an important piece of Geometry Dash history. And man, did it ever set a precedent of people starting to chase extremely difficult things in GD and wanting to push the boundaries themselves. Like, without the creation or without the verification of Bloodbath by Riot, I don't know if the game would be where it is today. I actually don't know, because this made... First off, it brought a lot of attention to the game, and secondly, it made people want to be a lot better, whereas back in the day, like I said, in some of those earlier demons, like, people would dislike very hard levels, but now chasing after hard demon completions was a big thing in the community because of Riot coming and beating ICDX Cataclysm and then verifying Bloodbath. So, you know, quite an insane time in the community. This ending is so stressful. Oh my god, this ending is so stressful. But hey, there we go. Boom.
Oh my god!
Dude, he spent a long time on this. What an absolute legend. Bloodbath, dude. What a legacy, too. Like, 10 years later now, because this was verified on August 13th, 2015. This video is like July 2025. Bloodbath is almost 10 years old, and this level is still being played by thousands of people. Thousands of people are trying to beat it. What a legacy. So there was Theory of Darkness, which was a hack verified level. Who cares? But then there's Phobos, which is interesting. So an unnerfed version of Phobos was uploaded on the 20th of November 2015, and it was deleted. So Bloodbath was still considered the hardest level in the game then. However, the interesting thing about Phobos is Kermal verified the current version that we have online on the 12th of May 2016, and Phobos is generally considered now harder than Bloodbath by a bit. But back in the day, even if you go to the Geometry Dash Demons list, this is the Demons list, the earliest date you can have on the time machine of the Demons list to see what it was like. It has Artificial Ascent, and then Sakupin Hell, and then Bloodbath, and Phobos is actually considered underneath it. So it wasn't until later that Phobos was considered a more difficult level than Bloodbath. So when this level was verified by Kermal unknowingly had verified a top 1 level. I had a real fun time streaming this level. I just like playing older levels, you know, and improving my skill playing like this it was really fun. Some people don't like it. I loved it, although I did hate this UFO. I will say, Sean, this UFO, oh man. But I just like the dark and gritty song. It's great. This wave, what a classic. But yeah, Phobos, dude. Kermal didn't even realize it. Didn't even realize this was harder than Bloodbath. And on 60 hertz too, dude. Dude, he did it on 60 hertz. What an achievement. This was such an insane achievement that a lot of people didn't give enough credit for at the time. 60 hertz, top 1. Damn. Like that straight fly right there. Like, look at him go through the straight fly on 60 hertz. And this ball part is such a mess, dude. I despised it. Even though I liked grinding this level, I despise that. The UFO is very difficult as well. It's so... Dude, it's so hard. Oh my god, it's so hard. And then there's this invisible block right there. Or not invisible, but there's like this platform that was left on top that you gotta like get onto somehow. It was so weird. So the unnerfed version of Phobos, there's a duel here. But Kermal's version, it's just like a ship that you fly through. And that's the end. Man. So Bloodbath was still considered the top 1 hardest level in the game, like well after Phobos was around. So the next top hardest was a level that was verified about a year after Bloodbath. Sakupen Hell, and Trusta was the one to verify it after hours of pain and endless fails. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's Sakupen Hell. I've beaten Sakupen Hell. Yeah, it sounds about right. Sakupen Hell, man. This level. This goddamn level. This is like my... Out of all the Extreme Demons I've played, this is the least fun I've had playing an Extreme Demon, I'm pretty sure. So this level was originally hack verified by Nubis, and then he was like, okay, well, anyone who wants to like legitimately do it as sort of like a challenge can go for it and do it. And Trusta was the one that took up the mantle. I think originally Riot was going for it as well. But even after this level got verified, I'm pretty sure Bloodbath was still considered harder than this level until like quite some time after Sakupen Hell had been out for a while, until people realized that Sakupen Hell actually, those wave sections are super tight. Even though it's a short level, it's just so insanely difficult. So Trusta beat this level, and this was the top 1 about a year after Bloodbath came out. Even though, like I said, I think Bloodbath was still on the demons list, top 1. But man, it's just copy and paste. Like that section, that wave section, you gotta do twice in a row. Dude, seeing old Trusta with that is legendary, man. So interestingly, Sakupen Hell was the shortest top 1 in terms of level length, being 50 seconds long. So this level's interesting. A Thanatos. A Thanatos is a level that was rated, but it was hack verified. It wasn't rated legitimately. This level was hack verified by Aurora, so it never really deserved its top 1 spot. And this brings us to Sonic Wave. So Sonic Wave was a hack verified, very difficult 9 circles level made by Cyclic. The man, the legend himself, Sonix. On the 25th of November, 2016, he verified it legitimately. So this legend... Sonix just comes along, and Sonix ended up becoming, after this, like just an insane legend at the game, beating so many of the top hardest levels. I don't know if he completed the entire list, but I think he got close to completing the entire like top, what was it, 75 list at the time. But anyways, Sonic Wave being verified was huge because this was also just so impossible, and I think this was the thing that finally on the demons list officially dethroned Bloodbath, because Bloodbath was considered harder than Sakupen Hell and Phobos, but people just didn't know any better at the time. And so this is the level though that when it got verified, people were like, oh damn, okay, that is clearly so much harder than Bloodbath. How could this mad lad verify Sonic Wave? And I'm actually going to be doing this level. Oh no. Oh no. This is the next step after Erebus. I'm going to be doing this level. Oh no. These middle parts right here are just so cool. Like the breaks you take. And I love the song. Sonic Blaster is just, it's so good, dude. So good. So this is the B of the RGB trilogy, because after Sonic Wave came out, Yatagarasu and Erebus were verified, and they were the top 1 levels for quite some time. A red level, a green level, and a blue level. So this was the beginning of the RGB Trilogy Era, the original RGB Trilogy Era. So Sonix verified this, and just he just put like Riot's reaction to it. Like there's no actual reaction. That's interesting. So interestingly, Sonic Wave, I think, was the longest standing level on the Demons list at 2,508 days. That's like over 7 years. But if you look at the Demons list, you do not see Sonic Wave anywhere to be seen. It just wasn't placed there until later. And because of that, Artificial Ascent, which was uploaded on the 12th of December 2016, was considered the hardest level for about 3 weeks. So Artificial Ascent was verified by a person called Combined, who was also a legend at the game, because Combined verified Artificial Ascent and Digital Descent, and also beat various other difficult levels in the game. I think Combined recently came back to beat the Golden. Yeah, it was, well, recently. It was like 4 years ago, Combined came back to beat the Golden. So pretty damn good at the game. Artificial Ascent was only the top on the list for about 3 weeks until people realized that it wasn't a top one, and other levels that we'll see after, like Yada being verified and also Sonic Wave, were just a little bit of a step up. Quite a bit of a step up, actually. But Artificial Ascent is no laughing matter. Like, this is a very, very difficult level. This ending is pretty easy, but holy, when you get here, is it ever stressful. Oh my god, is it ever stressful. This is seriously like one of the most fun Extreme Demons I've played, though. This level is just such a pleasure to play. Oh my god, I absolutely love it. But there it is. Let's see this reaction. It's gonna be no reaction, is there? Yeah. Definitely a different time. Going from now on, we're gonna see, I think, reactions to almost every level. This is the reaction we get. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! And then Trusta, our boy, verified Yatagarasu on the 13th of January 2017. Boom! Yatagarasu, nice. Love the epic intro. So here we go. Yada, big mega collab verified by Trusta. It's my most recent, like, hardest level that I've personally done. Dude, it's such a good level. And it is a classic piece of Geometry Dash history. Even though this level, when it got verified, you know, it wasn't the top one because Sonic Wave had already been verified, and Sonic Wave is considered harder than Yada. But they are, you know, I guess it depends on what game modes you're good at, but they are considered maybe in the same tier of difficulty, but Sonic Wave just a bit harder in that tier. But some people think Sonic Wave is way harder. Some people think Yada is harder. It depends on who you talk to, right? But man, this level, this level is very, very difficult. And for the time, yeah, this is one of the hardest levels in the game that was considered a top one for quite a long time until people realized that I think Sonic Wave is a little bit harder. So this was the top one on the Demons list for quite some time. So if you go back in time to before Erebus was verified, you can see here Yada is number 1 and Sonic Wave is number 2. And it was like that for a while. Oh, Michigan. Oh man, the amount of times I've died to this part. Holy dude. That is a very, very stressful part. And then Lugia, man. Lugia also this is such a hard part. Oh, Trusta does the double tap there. I do not do the double tap in the wave. Oh, dude, I remember how, yeah, the ship used to spin. I kind of miss it, actually. I kind of miss how the ship spun. It's so stressful once you get here, dude. And everyone was playing at this time on 144 hertz. So it wasn't even 240 at the time. So people had a harder time doing levels like this. Oh, he goes up above it. Interesting. Oh, I never did that. Okay, get ready for it. Get ready. Here it comes.
Yeah!
Nice.
Yes! Yes!
Nice. Well deserved, man. Dude, he's like getting up and yelling in the background. That's amazing. Cool. I have a comment here from 8 years ago. All right, the next level, interestingly enough, is Erebus by Bold Step. That's the level I'm doing right now. This was uploaded on the 19th of March 2017, and at the time, people thought that it was harder than Yada and Sonic Wave. Now, this is interesting because if you go to when Erebus was uploaded, it was number 3 on the Demons list. It was below Yada and Sonic Wave. I don't see a time on the Demons list when Erebus was top 1. Although people have said it was. Yeah, it says this level was initially placed at number 3 on the Demons list, so I don't know what it's doing there. So here's an interesting level, Stalemate Redux. This was extremely overrated and it shouldn't have been in the top 1 initially, so we're not going to include it. Like, these days, Stalemate Redux is considered easier than the RGB Trilogy. So Digital Descent as well was also a top 1 for 4 days, and it should have never been top 1. So Sonic Wave was the top 1 level in the game for a very long time until a new tier of difficulty in levels came along, and that started with Plasma Pulse Finale by Smokes. This was verified just a few months before Bloodlust, and at the time, I remember people were wondering which one is harder, Plasma Pulse Finale or Bloodlust, and a lot of people were comparing the two levels. So I remember this being a legendary time in the community too. Did I leave a comment? I did! Wow, GG, this looks insane! I was around for these moments. I'm old. The Plasma Pulse Finale looks awesome, man. I like the Plasma Pulse series. I've only beaten Plasma Pulse 1, but I'd love to beat the entire Plasma Pulse series at some point. I mean, I don't know, though. This level, I mean, if I beat this level now, it'd be easily the hardest level I've ever done, right? This is a step up from the RGB Trilogy. Quite a lot harder, even though I could see myself doing this. But it's like, do I want to? Do I want to? But I would like to do the Plasma Pulse series one day. I've done number 1. I've always wanted to do number 2. Number 3 is an extreme demon, like an easy extreme demon. And then, dude, this would be so much fun, I think. Plasma Pulse Finale. It looks awesome, doesn't it? It just exudes like early 2.1 charm, man. I'm loving the look of this. It's great. Oh, look at that tight wave, man. Oh yeah, you can definitely tell it's a step up from the levels that I'm playing, like the original RGB. Holy dude. This ushered in a new era of difficulty. This was like the next tier up from Sonic Wave, Yada, and Erebus. This was it right here. Plasma Pulse Finale. Dude. And this was verified before Bloodlust, and then Bloodlust obviously dethroned it. But man, what a completion this was. This was a legendary piece of Geometry Dash history. And no reaction. it was just complete. I'm sure he was immensely overjoyed, but no recorded reaction to it, right? So it's so interesting because Plasma Pulse Finale was placed under Sonic Wave. Oh, so originally it was placed in number 2, but a month later it was placed in number 1. Okay. So there, it was properly placed a little bit later. Okay, number 1, Plasma Pulse Finale right there. I like that we can check this now. The time machine on the Demons list is great. And then Bloodlust by Nobbleboy was verified on February 21st, 2018. And it was the former longest duration as a top 1 until Tartarus came, because it was there for a year and 17 days, which is a long time. I'm going to say this a lot, but this was such a legendary completion because Nobbleboy had died to 98%. Oh my god, where is it? Where is it? It's got to be here somewhere. Oh man, he actually didn't include it in the video. Oh, that's too bad. Anyways, so if you guys don't know, I'm sure you guys know, Bloodlust is such a popular level. Bloodlust is a buffed version of Bloodbath that actually has the extension, the part of the song that Aftermath is normally. So it has the extension. So it starts at Bloodbath and then it extends until at the speed of light, the song fully ends. So it goes all the way an extra minute or something. So it's this like 3-minute long beast of a level. That's Bloodbath, buffed Bloodbath plus to the end of the song. It's, man, it is very hard and a very stressful level and is like a big milestone level for a lot of people. A lot of people try and beat this level. I mean, I think a lot of people have beaten this level at this point, but it is, I would say it is like the step up from the RGB trilogy, like Sonic Wave, Yada, and Erebus. This is like the iconic step up that a lot of people try to go to. A lot of people will try to jump to this level, and a lot of people will just try to go for this level as like a goal in their Geometry Dash career. Understandably so. I'm one of those as well. Someday I'd like to try this level. Even though I'm pushing 40 years old. Oh, man! So this is the end of Bloodbath. And then, boom, you get grabbed and taken into the extension. And this is where Aftermath is. Like, the entire Aftermath level fits into just the extension of Bloodlust. It's crazy. Dude, it's crazy. And the extension is no joke either. This was such an insane completion, because once again, this pushed the boundaries of what people thought were possible in the game. Bloodlust was just so much harder than anything before it. And even though Plasma Pulse Finale was competing with it, people soon realized that Bloodlust was quite a lot harder. Even though Plasma Pulse Finale is no joke. It's a very difficult level. But man, yeah, this was originally hosted by Manix, and Quasar was going to verify it or something, but it switched to Nobbleboy. So Nobbleboy died right there. Oh, man. Well deserved. I think he put over 100,000 attempts into this. I think it was the first level that had that many attempts put into it. Because up until this time, we hadn't seen like that many attempts. Yeah, over 121,000 attempts. Yeah. Holy man. So for the time, that was unreal. Because a lot of other completions, maybe they were in the tens of thousands, but nothing was over 100,000. So this is the first time in Geometry Dash's history where people like realize, okay, now to push the limits of the game, we actually might need to put hundreds of thousands of attempts into levels now. Holy. So Noble Boy has his 98% reaction right here. We gotta watch it.
Dude, what the fuck? Really?
Oh man.
Yeah, fuck.
Oh, that's intense rage. Oh my god, that's intense rage. So the next level that should have been a top one was one called Crimson Planet by True Omega that was verified by Wooshi. However, it took over a year to be rated. So this was verified on May 19th, which would have actually dethroned Bloodlust. Wow, yeah, those are some tight wave corridors. I'm actually pretty unfamiliar with this level. The Crimson Planet, wow. Yeah, that's tight. Would have been a top one level. But then Zodiac got uploaded, and Zodiac was verified, which dethroned this. But this was never rated until after Zodiac was rated. And so because of that, this level should have been the top one for a long time, but it wasn't. Because Zodiac became the top one after. So that's an interesting piece of Geometry Dash lore right there. Crimson Planet should have been a top one for a while, you know? That's so interesting.
Oh my god, I did it!
Wow.
Oh, I did it! No way! Oh, dude, I did it! Oh my god!
And that's Wooshi's reaction to it. Wooshi, and also incredibly talented player. Because yeah, if you look at the Demons list on like June 12th, 2019, like a long time after, like Crimson Planet is placed higher than Bloodlust. And it is currently at number 111, and Bloodlust is Legacy. So Crimson Planet, it should have dethroned Bloodlust. Yeah, it should have dethroned Bloodlust only like a few months after Bloodlust came out, like 4 months after. Well, then this level called Zodiac came out, which truly dethroned it. So it was uploaded on the 28th of January, 2019, but it was hack verified at the beginning. Eventually, Xander admitted to hacking. And so Technical took up the throne to like beat it legitimately the first time, and he beat it on April 19th, 2019. So Technical is the first legitimate victor. So we're gonna see Technical's video of this. Dude, Zodiac is a very long level. It's like, well, no, okay, not very long. It's like Yada length. It's like 3 minutes, but considering the difficulty, oh my god, 3 minutes of just like insanely tight gaps, and like the consistency required to do this is incredible. So some people, you know, to this day also, Zodiac is like that next step up from Bloodlust that a lot of people go for. I don't know if I'll ever be good enough to do a level of this caliber. I mean, I will absolutely consider it depending on how my progress goes after RGB, but dude, this is like, this is another level for me. This is so much harder than anything I'd even consider. Bloodlust, I definitely know I could with enough practice. This, I'm like, I don't know. I actually just don't know. Dude, I love the vibes of Zodiac. I think it's really cool looking. It's just like a really nice glow level. It's very, very cool looking. It's very slick. Like, look at this. Oh my god, that glow is so good in the block design and the way it moves. Dude, it's peak, man. It's peak. My god, how stressful. This is so stressful. Just watching it, it's so stressful. And boom, there we go.
I beat it! Oh my god! Oh my god, I beat Zodiac! Holy crap! No way! No way! No way! I just beat Zodiac! Holy... Oh my god!
So this was the first legitimate completion of Zodiac. And this was April 10th, 2019, which the level had already been out for a while. So if you go earlier into 2019, this level was already placed at number 1 on the list, even though it was hack verified, because people didn't know it was hack verified yet. But it retained its position on the list for 11 months until Tartarus was verified, which was another step up in difficulty. And I've practiced Tartarus before, and I gotta say, holy man, Tartarus is such an insanely hard level. And Tartarus has had the longest duration as a top 1 level in the game. And it's considered a level in the new RGB Trilogy, which was Tartarus, The Golden, and Sonic Wave Infinity, remake of Sonic Wave. I cannot believe that the verification for Tartarus was already like 5 years ago. Like over 5 years ago. I cannot believe it. Tartarus to me still feels like the cream of the crop in terms of like difficulty of levels in the game. Oh no. There was a 98% death on Tartarus too. Oh, Dolphy. Oh no. This level uses clubstep. Man, honestly, I don't diss the clubstep song, but I've already listened to so much clubstep in my life playing Geometry Dash that like having to listen to clubstep for an extreme demon is like, oh no. I couldn't handle it, man. I couldn't handle it. This would be on mute so fast. But I guess that you couldn't because you need like audio cues and stuff. Oh man, I don't know. Yeah, this level looks so insane. To all the victors of Tartarus out there, I cannot believe I cannot believe it's humanly possible even after 5 years. It's shocking to me. Jeez, what a level. Look how tight that wave corridor is. How stressful has that got to be? The very end of the level. Oh my goodness, man. You did it, Dolphy. Yo, sick. Okay, so Tartarus reigned supreme for a very long time. However, I do know I wouldn't call it controversy, but like the Golden was considered a top 1 level at the time. When it was verified, I think it was briefly a top 1 level, even though it really shouldn't have been top 1, because Tartarus is now considered harder definitively. But the Golden was like, it was debated upon which one was top 1 or not, and Golden was at the top 1 of the Demons list. Yeah, so if you go back to like right after the Golden was verified, it was actually above Tartarus. So yeah, the Golden is at number 64 currently, even though it was placed at number 1 after it got verified. I remember this time in the community actually. And then Tartarus is currently at number 55 on the list, and it was sitting at number 2. So it wasn't until opinions changed and then the Golden was pushed under Tartarus, where Tartarus sat until it was dethroned, which was quite a long time. Until the next tier of difficulty levels came out, like Firework. So Firework should have been the top 1 at the time. Unfortunately, what happened is Firework and Slaughterhouse were verified like back to back, essentially. But Slaughterhouse was illegitimately verified by Space UK. So there would have been a time where Firework was the top 1 level in the game, while Doggy was still verifying Slaughterhouse, because Doggy was the first legit victor, but Firework would have sat at number 1 for, you know, quite a while. Because if we go to Trick's channel right here, Firework verified Impossible Demon. This was verified on October 31st, 2021. But if we go to Doggy's video, he beat Slaughterhouse on December 22nd. So in other words, Firework should have been the top 1 level in the game for about 2 months. And it didn't get that time to shine in the spotlight because Space UK, he hacked Slaughterhouse and hacked a bunch of other levels. So Firework was legitimately a top 1 for a couple months. Over 200k attempts of pain and suffering. This level is insane. So Firework, I've played this level in practice mode. It's just these timings and some of these segments, like these ship sections where you have to avoid certain portals, otherwise you hit the portal and you die. It's beyond comprehension to what I think is something that I could ever do. You know, no matter how much I practiced it, I just think I don't have that like mechanical ability to be able to do something like this. But you know, maybe I would someday, but I doubt it. Like, I'm getting old, you know. Even like Erebus is hard. These levels now that we're witnessing are just so far beyond anything that I thought was ever humanly possible. Like this ship part coming up, to me, just blows my mind. You have to avoid all those orbs as you're going through that. I could never conceive of doing that. That's so insane. Like, I love the ship game mode, but that looks way too hard for me. And that's like right at the end of the level. And this level is not short. This level is quite a long level. I think it's 3 minutes long or something. And man, putting that at like the end, it blows my mind. Boom. People are going nuts. Dude, Firework. The race for like Firework and Slaughterhouse is just such a classic moment in GD history, which unfortunately is a little soiled by Space UK having hack verified Slaughterhouse, but it was still such an iconic moment. Slaughterhouse, though, now officially verified like 2 months after Space UK had done his cheating thing, even though people didn't realize that until much later after Slaughterhouse had been verified. The first legit victor of Slaughterhouse is Doggy, and his victory was also soiled by the fact that Doggy didn't realize at the time that he was the first victor of Slaughterhouse. So he always thought to himself, like, when he beat this level, like, ah, well, okay, cool, I did it, but I'm the second victor, so whatever. You know, like, he didn't get the honor of being the verifier. So, damn you, Space UK, how could you? I can't believe this was almost 4 years ago already. Dude, Slaughterhouse 2021? I can't believe dude, 2021. Why does it feel like this was just like a year and a half or 2 years ago? Oh my God, dude. Time goes by too fast these days. Man, Slaughterhouse, a lot of you know what Slaughterhouse is. This is just like insane, impeccable. Like, it's a short level, but it's insane, very tight wave and ship. Just very, very tight, very fast paced, like 4 times speed. It's just so insane.
Yes. Oh my fucking God.
Nice. Whoa.
Yeah.
Good job, bro. You are the legit verifier. Good job, bro. So the next top one for a brief moment was Sakubin Circles by Diamond, but these days on the list, it's actually considered easier than Slaughterhouse. Like if you go to the list right now, Slaughterhouse is at 16 and Sakubin Circles is at number 18. And so this level was considered top one when it got verified, but it really wasn't top one, even though it retained its top one position for how long? For like 2 months and 10 days until people like shifted the positions around. But regardless, this is still like right in the realm of difficulty of Slaughterhouse because this is only 2 spots below it. And this is such an incredibly difficult level. Like I've played the wave in this level and it is just so impossibly hard. Like look at how tight that is, dude. Look at how tight that is, man. Oh my God. And that like dual wave, I couldn't even do it. I couldn't even do it. And this like wave spam right here, there's no way I could physically do it. I don't think, unless I just got lucky. Like I just got a lucky attempt. Sakubin Circles is insane. Yeah, but even though it was considered a top one, it never really truly was a top one, I guess. Unless the spots get changed at some point. Oh, 1 sec. We gotta see the reaction.
I verified Sakubin Circles! What? I just verified Sakubin Circles!
Yeah.
I just verified it! I just verified it! I just verified Sakubin Circles!
Legendary reaction. And that 220k attempts, man. And that was also 2021. Jeez, time flies. Holy. Sakubin Circles, verified by Diamond, was considered the top one for 2 months and 10 days. Until this level came out, Abyss of Darkness. Abyss of Darkness currently sits at number 13 on the Demons list, which is harder than Slaughterhouse. So this certainly was a top one level. And this was verified by Cursed. So Abyss of Darkness is quite the insanely difficult level. It's just... I played this once in practice mode, and it took me a very long time. Very, very tight waves and tight timings. Limited visibility too, that's just brutal. Yeah, well, I mean, it is called Abyss of Darkness, so it makes sense to be all dark and stuff. I think it's a pretty cool looking level. Some people don't like this level. I think it looks great, man. Dude, this level is cool. Around this time, though, Abyss of Darkness didn't stay one for too long because a bunch of other, like, very, very hard levels were being verified at the time. Oh, dude, that part with the laughing, I think is cool. Some people think it's cheesy. I like it. It's laughing at you as, like, you're doing wave timings. That was so cool. I mean, anyone that has the balls to go and try to verify a top one, that's, like, pushing the boundaries of the game is just such an insane feat. You know, it's so much more nerve-wracking not knowing whether something is actually physically possible or not, because when someone's already beaten, you know, okay, you know it's doable, right? But like when no one's beaten it yet, it's so much more nerve-wracking. Boom.
I fucking verified AOD! Oh my God, yes! Oh, what? Oh my God, yes! 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 Yes!
Dude, nice. Nice. So Abyss of Darkness was the hardest level for a month and 2 weeks until hardest level at the time, Acheron, was verified by Zoink. So Acheron was considered the hardest level for quite a long time. So this is interesting because this is something that I knew a little bit about, but not quite a lot of. So Acheron is the second level of Riot's trilogy. Tartarus was the first one put up by Riot, and then there was Acheron, and then Eternus is the third and final one, which is just Eternus, man. I can't even... If it gets verified someday, I'm going to be in shock. That level is so hard in its current state. So Acheron is considered number 9 on the list right now. Wow. So Acheron's got like some memorization stuff going on at the beginning. It's quite an iconic level. I've also done this one in practice mode, and I also just can't believe that this is humanly possible. Still, even though it's number 9 on the list, Dude, the entire top 75, I can't believe is humanly possible. Let's be real. Yeah, like, it's so, oh my god, it's so tight. So this is like a step up from Abyss of Darkness, even though a lot of these levels, like, I don't know exactly how much of a difference in difficulty something like Acheron would be to Abyss of Darkness, to like Slaughterhouse, you know? I know there's definitely like a gap. I just don't know how much there is because I'm not good enough to beat these levels. So I can't be like an accurate judge. All I can do is look at these levels that are in the top 75 on the demons list and just with my jaw on the floor go, oh, whoa. You know, that's all I can do. Boom. Acheron was a top 1 for a year and a week. Very long time. And it's still number 9. It's still really high up there. So this one's interesting. Avernus. This is a level I actually sent to RobTop. I did, because I liked it. So Avernus was a level that was also verified by Zoink. And this was placed at top 1 above Acheron, but then it was moved below Acheron. But then when Tidal Wave was rated, it moved back above Acheron. So the true rating of it is like just a smidgen harder than Acheron, apparently. So Avernus is known for having like fixed hitboxes. So it means like the spikes that are here, it's not using the normal spike hitbox. There's other spikes put in there to make it so like the whole spike you can go into, like you can't clip into the spikes. So like Avernus, even though you might see other levels and be like, you know what? No, there's some other tighter spaces in Acheron or something. But with the fixed hitboxes in Avernus, it actually ends up being tighter. So yeah, quite an insane level. Yeah, like these are all fixed hitboxes, I think. Notice how he doesn't clip into any of them. Like some wave parts on normal spikes, you can actually go through the spike just a little bit, but not on this level, which makes it so difficult. All right, boom.
I just beat Avernus right now. I'm not even lying. I'm not even lying. I actually just verified Avernus. Like, unironically, I verified Avernus right now. What the fuck? What?
Dude, that's insane. So that was in 2023. And shortly after this is when Space UK got ousted as a hacker. But anyways, yeah, cool. So this was a top 1 for a time. Until the big boy, Tidal Wave came along, also verified by Zoink. So you can see here, Avernus is ahead of Acheron if we use the Wayback Machine. But this is like months after Tidal Wave was verified. But Tidal Wave was not rated for a very long time. It was like well into 2.2. Yeah, it was like a few months after 2.2 came out, like in February. Yeah, so Tidal Wave in February, when it got rated, got pushed into number 1 spot on the demons list in February 2024. So a couple months after 2.2 came out, which was like 6 months after Tidal Wave was verified. I remember that time, like people just being like, rate Tidal Wave, and it being such a huge thing. And eventually RobTop was like, okay guys, I get it. I'll rate Tidal Wave. Now we get into the era of like the demons list being in the 2.2 era. I actually haven't really looked at what the rules are on the demons list for using click between frames and stuff, but it's this whole new era of like grief being verified with click between frames, and levels like Tidal Wave being, I don't know, made easier with click between frames as compared to like native 240 hertz. It's like the demons list is kind of in a weird position right now of like, how do they accept levels? You know, should they still have only rated levels be on the demons list, or should there be levels that use click between frames on the list too that might not be rated, because RobTop won't rate levels that don't use click between frames, or he won't rate levels that use click between frames, I should say. The opposite of what I said. Anyways, this level, like, just incredibly difficult. This level, when it first dropped, my jaw...
I need Tidal Wave! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! What the fuck?
Dude, what a legend. It's so good.
What the fuck? Oh my god! Oh my god!
Dude, imagine being in that call. Just imagine. So Tidal Wave was the hardest level in the game for a year and 3 months. It was on top of the demons list until Amethyst, the current top 1 level in the game. So interestingly, Tidal Wave was the longest time for a level to get rated after its verification and initially get placed at the number 1 spot. It's the longest time consecutively as the top 1 at 471 days. It beat Tartarus's previous record of 418 days. So Tidal Wave reigned supreme for a very long time. Wow, just like the longest a top 1 has ever been there. Incredible. But then a new top 1 came along just very recently. Amethyst, which was verified by W Popoff. This video dropped about a month and a half ago. Amethyst, man. Amethyst. So a new top 1 finally after Tidal Wave's long reign in the top 1 spot. I wonder how long this one's gonna reign. I know there are people that are working towards other top 1s. Also, Thinking Space 2 was verified on the same day. And that one is also very hard, so I don't know what people are gonna think about its placement. But this is... I don't know if I'd even call this another tier of difficulty after Tidal Wave. I mean, maybe it is. I'm just not good enough at the game to know just how much harder this is than Tidal Wave, because both levels take me forever to do in practice mode, and I'm unqualified. But like, is this a new era of difficulty, or is this just like slight step up from Tidal Wave? But even then, because Tidal Wave is so hard, a slight step up from Tidal Wave is still like incredible, because like when the timings are already so tight, a slight step up could be exponentially more difficult, right?
2 top 1s in one day, bro. I love you, chat. What the fuck? That's
Dude,
crazy, bro.
W Popoff is so chill, man. He comes into my streams too and supports me. Little old me doing stuff like Erebus.
A6 and Teague-Man to beat this level. What the fuck, bro?
Oh, yo, look at that. I didn't even realize.
What the...
I watched the stream version of it, and I didn't even realize that he said he forgot to mention Nethermind, Dodami, EVW, and more. Like, as a thanks. Wow, that's so cool. I didn't even know. Dude, I had no idea, because I just watched the like stream verification and I commented on that. I didn't comment on like the video verification. Oh, that's so cool. W Popoff, what a legend. Dude. That means the world to me. Honestly, that means the world to me, because this is like the top 1 level in the game, and to know that, like, you know, someone has thanked me for being like a part of their, I guess, Geometry Dash life, their career in a way, you know, is so cool. Dude, Popoff. So cool. Well, that brings us to the current day demons list. As you can see, a lot of the top 1s, they're still up here, you know, especially like the more recent ones, because it's when you get up to this difficulty, there's not many people that can actually do these levels. So like, you know, Amethyst, Tidal Wave, Avernus, Acheron, Abyss of Darkness, Slaughterhouse, they're all still like up here in the top 20, right? Even Zodiac is number 80 on the list still. I wonder what top 1 level is still on the list, like one of the earlier ones we talked about today. Crimson Planet, I think, at number 111, definitely. Because Bloodlust is off, yeah. Cool. Anyways, guys, this was educational for me, and I hope it was educational for you as well if you're curious about top 1s. I wanted to do this to sort of educate myself, and now I know a whole lot more about the history of the game. It's not a typical video that I do, but I wanted to give it a shot. What did you guys think? Did you like it? There's probably a bunch of information that is left out. There's probably a lot of interesting tidbits of trivia that go along with each of these top 1s, but I wanted to make it as succinct as possible. Otherwise, we'd be here forever if I talked about like the history of all these levels, because I'm sure you could make a video about the history of each of these individual levels themselves, you know? Leave a like, helps me out a lot, and I'll see you in the next one. As always, peace.